Welcome, listeners. This is Judy's daughter, Jamie, and this is another part of my story. And we're going to jump right into it. We're not going to waste any time because I'm going to put you where I was the night she disappeared. It was September 8th, 1990. It was a Friday night. And the whole purpose of us going for this little back road trip was because my mother wanted to talk to me. So I had gotten out of school, got home, we had dinner, and at dinner she said, "I need to talk to you, but I don't want to do it here. Let's go take a back road and just let the wind blow and let's just talk." Now remember, I am 12 years old, but I was a lot more mature at 12 than most people were at 12. So, we get in a car and we're riding around. My mother is informing me that she wanted to divorce my stepdad, which I was excited about because he was not a very good man. He was very abusive to my mother. He was abusive to me. Um, he had molested me from the time that I was 2 years old until I was probably about 6. Now, at that time, I did not know that he had done that. It wasn't until later on when I had to go see a psychiatrist for a nervous breakdown that I had at 15 when all of that came out. I had apparently blocked it out. I am okay from that today. I have moved on. It's not going to define me. I'm okay. So we are riding around, and she is letting me know she wants to file for divorce from my stepdad. She wanted to apologize for putting me through all those years of torment of me having to see him be abusive to her. Now, she did not know what he had done to me. My parents were truck drivers, so they were gone a lot. There was times that she would be working, he'd be home, he'd be working, she'd be home. There were times I went on the truck with them. I spent a lot of my childhood on a truck. I have traveled to probably every state but a handful. But it was not a life for a child, that's for sure. So, again, we're riding around. She's telling me we ended up at the Bear Grounds. And if anybody is familiar with Grand Saline, Texas, the Bear Grounds is a parking lot where the dollar store and the Piggly Wiggly used to be there. It's no longer there. There's a drugstore, there's a dollar store, a few other things. I think a tanning salon. But that parking lot used to be the hangout on Friday nights, Saturday nights. All the high school kids went. Some of the older kids that had already graduated went. We used to go. It. I had family that it was like cousins you would run into up there because it was the hangout spot and it was a small town, so everybody knew everybody. And we're sitting at the Bear Grounds, we're chatting, lots of friends and stuff. We're just having a good time. My mom's visiting with people. I've got my friends there. Not a big deal. Hours go by, it's getting late. So my mom said I need to take Jamie home. It's getting late. Well, now during the last 30 minutes before she mentioned she wanted to take me home, this truck had pulled up with some guys in it. I think there was a guy in the back and there was two in the truck. And the driver of this truck, I won't say his name, but we'll just continue to call him Ken, who is the main suspect, the only suspect, and I believe the only person who knows where my mother's remains are. He's the driver of this truck. He had pulled up, he's visiting, he's talking with people. I felt like he was kind of flirting with my mother. And she's like, "Yeah, we got to go. I got to get my daughter home." So we leave. She takes me home. So this is about 2 o'clock in the morning. We pull up in the driveway. She goes and unlocks the door. We go to walk in. I remember looking over at the clock, and it was the red numbers on the little digital clock, and it said 2:08 a.m. So as we're walking in, my mom barely gets in the door. She's like, "Crap, I forgot to get cigarettes. I just smoked my last one." My mom was a smoker, and she just knew if she didn't get them then, she wouldn't go to the store tomorrow because it was Saturday. We were going to stay home. Anyways, so she's like, "I'm going to run up to Easy Mart. It's just at the end of the street. I'll be right back. I'm going to get some cigarettes." Okay, no problem. Lock the door, go get ready for bed. I'll be back in a few minutes. Yes, ma'am. So I go brush my teeth, put on my night clothes, got me something to drink, made sure all the doors were locked and the windows were shut, and I crawled in bed and laid down. Apparently, I was tired. I fell asleep. I was going to wait for my mom, but I fell asleep. So I wake up the next morning and I noticed it was still quiet in the house, and my mom was always up before I was. Always. I was like, it's really too quiet. So I decided that I was going to go look out the window. So I looked out the window and her car was in the driveway. And I was like, that's not normal. That's odd. So I didn't think nothing about it. I thought, maybe she just had a couple of drinks, ran into some friends, stayed the night somewhere. She'll be back here in a little while. Not a big deal. So I do my chores. I worked on laundry. I made my bed. I made me some breakfast. I even went outside and started mowing the backyard because those were my chores. Well, the day really goes by pretty fast. It starts to worry me. So my great aunt Thelma actually lived right around the corner, one block around from where we lived. So I walked up to her house and I was like, Aunt Thelma, Mom didn't come home last night and I'm worried. What do I do? She said, well, it's not like your mom. So let's just give her a little time. Like, she might have just had a couple of drinks, stayed somewhere, let her sleep it off. She'll be home. Like, okay. She's like, go back to the house, keep the door locked. If you need me, you come back and let me know if she doesn't come home tonight. Yes, ma'am. So I go home. This is probably about 6 p.m. on Saturday. So I waited a couple more hours. It got close to 8, so I went back to Aunt Thelma's. It's like, she's still not home. She's like, all right, let's call your Aunt Linda. Okay. Aunt Linda's my mom's oldest sister. So she calls Aunt Linda, and Aunt Linda's like, all right, well, I'll come get you. You can come stay the night at my house, and we'll see what happens tomorrow. I'm sure she'll be home. So my Aunt Linda shows up at the house. I got my backpack for school, and I got my overnight bag for clothes, a couple of nights change, just in case. We locked the house up and left a note for Mom where I was just in case she came, because back then there's no cell phones. So we left her note on the refrigerator and one on my bed, so that way if she came home she would know where I was at. Well, that Sunday I get up, I'm in Aunt Linda's, I'm still worried, thinking, okay, I'm just a child, I shouldn't be worried, the adults will handle this. Well, Sunday night comes, I go back to bed at my Aunt Linda's house, I get up Monday morning, I go to school. So I get to school, and most people think it's just an ordinary Monday for them. Not me. I go to class. It was probably, I want to say it was first period or maybe going into second period. I didn't feel good. And honestly, I know a lot of it was because I was scared and I was nervous. I didn't know where my mother was. But there was also a part of me that had this feeling that something was wrong. Like I was really, really worried. And I ended up going to the nurse's station. The teacher's like, "Go ahead, go to the nurse station. You look like you don't feel good." So I go in there, and the nurse like, "You got a little bit of a fever and with an upset stomach. Let's call your mom and have her come get you and go home and get you some rest." I said, "Well, you can't call my mom." And she just looked at me dumbfounded, like, "What do you mean I can't call your mom?" I said, "Well, my mom never came home Friday night. I don't know where she's at. I've had to stay at my aunt the last 2 nights. I don't know what to do." She said, "Hold on just a second." So she goes into the principal's office. She talks to him for a couple minutes, and he comes back in there with her. And I remember them saying something like, "Honey, what do you mean that your mom didn't come home?" And I said, "Well, Friday night we went riding around. We went to the bear grounds. We were talking. She was letting me know some information about my stepdad, and at this time my stepdad was in another state. He was like in North America somewhere, or a northern state, um, driving a truck. So he was out of state at the time. Um, and she's like, "Well, so she never came home?" And I said, "No, she never came home Friday night. Um, I waited Saturday and I waited yesterday, and my aunt brought me to school today, and we still don't know." Okay, hold on just a minute. Well, the next thing I know, the principal in the Miss Pat in the front office, they called the police department. So the police officer comes to the school, and at this point, I am one of the most horrified 12-year-olds that county has ever met. I was scared. The cops are now involved. I don't know how to feel. I still, honestly, 35 years later, I still don't know how to process that part. So the police officer takes my statement and asks, why has nobody reported this? And I said, I don't know. I thought my aunt had reported it. Um, I've been at her house the last 2 nights. It's like, okay, well, we're going to call your aunt to come get you, and then we're going to get to the bottom of this. Okay, yes, sir. Called Aunt Linda. She come to the school. They were asking why she didn't report it, and she said, well, I didn't think there was nothing of it. You know, she probably went out, had a few drinks, and just lost track of time. And that's not my mom. That might have been her in her younger years, but my mom never left me home alone. My mom never didn't come home. She always came home to me. So I knew there was something not right. So that's when basically my whole world just it turned into a circus. I mean, next thing I know, there's reporters, there's investigators, there's Texas Rangers, there's police dogs, there's psychics they brought in. I swear they brought, I feel like they brought in a circus because it was just an embarrassing ordeal. It's like this small town had no idea what they were doing. Her car was left abandoned on at the bear grounds. Her keys, her cigarettes, her purse, her wallet, everything locked inside the car still. I'm sorry. To the police officer who walked up to her car, looked in the window and seen her keys and her cigarettes and her purse, no person around. Why would you touch the car? Why would you put your hand on the handle? Why wouldn't you be like, this is a crime scene, this is abandonment, something's not right, this woman's missing, there's an abandoned car? Hello? Like, call your investigators, get some prints off of this vehicle. Maybe the man who did it, he actually locked the car himself. I mean, anything, you know? No, not this town. So they take her car, they take her belongings. The next thing I know, my aunt and uncle are packing up my mom's house. I'm losing my home. I don't even know what they did with her belongings. I feel like, I mean, I think my cousin has some of my mom's belongings because my Aunt Linda took them from when my grandmother passed away. I had a dresser and a bunch of my mom's things that were supposed to be left to me when my grandmother passed away, my mom's mom, in 2009. And there were things that were left and supposed to go to me. Well, my Aunt Linda took those things. So I still have no belongings that belong to my mother. Now her daughter does in Oklahoma somewhere, if she still has it. So I'm a little frustrated because now I have no mother. I have none of her belongings. I have 2 photos. I have an Easter hat and an empty purse. That's all I have that belongs to my mother. 37 years on this planet, and she had accumulated quite a bit of stuff, and I have nothing. They sold it all. Don't know where it went. So that's very frustrating. So I feel like my family didn't only just hurt me, they made it worse. So I feel like I've been in this alone all these years. Nobody's helped me. My grandmother was the only one that pushed and pushed and stayed on top of the police department. And with her being gone, it's now left to me. It is all left to me. And after all of that, they said, oh, we'll search here, we'll search there. And then people talked, the whispering started, the stories started, oh, he cut her up and put her in a bunch of trash bags and buried her in separate locations and different wells. The night that it happened, apparently he had a shop being built, or his parents were having a shop being built, and the concrete poured the next day. And at 2, 3, or 4 o'clock in the morning, I don't remember, some wee hour, still dark, there's people that said there was someone back there where that was being built on some kind of heavy equipment, moving stuff and digging dirt and stuff. And then the next day, the concrete was poured. So, again, speculation that he buried her under his own family's metal building on his land. Again, has it been searched? No, it has not. I mean, I'm really frustrated because I'm tired of this crap. I'm so tired of it. I'm annoyed. They have given me the runaround. This man is walking free for 35 years while my mother is buried somewhere in the ground just disposed of like she is garbage. That is someone's mother, my mother. She is someone's daughter, someone's sister. Like, do you not have any kind of conscience whatsoever on what you've done? And honestly, I don't give a rat's ass what happens to you. I don't care if you go to jail. I don't care. Just tell me where she's buried so I can get closure and give her a proper burial and so she can rest in peace. You can go on about your business. You can do whatever it is you want to do. Live your life. I don't care because you're going to pay one of these days. God will take care of that for me. I'm not worried about that. I just want my mom. I'm not going to be here forever and I need that closure. She deserves peace. I deserve peace. So, needless to say, my life was turned upside down. It was sickening. I, I honestly don't know how to function when I talk about it. I turn into such an angry person because I don't understand how another human being can take another human being's life. You seen her and I together earlier that night. She was all I had. She was the last thing I had left. And you took that from me. I know you're not supposed to hate. I know you're really not. Damn, I hate you. You will pay for what you've done in time. Sorry that gets a little emotional for me. It's I don't mm, I'm really not sure how to I don't know how to put the anger aside when I get really worked up about it. I don't think I have a right to be angry. I have a right to be upset. I think I do. But what I'm really going to do is I'm going to pray. I'm going to pray for you. I'm going to pray that you actually wake up one day with a conscience and that you actually realize what you've done. And if you don't, that's fine too. Because that meth that you're now using and taking your anger out on other women as well, because oh, I've heard it gets back to me. Everything gets back to me on what you do. I know where you live. I know what you do. And being addicted to meth is just going to destroy your life even more. So you just keep doing you, and the truth will come out. It will come out. And for your family, I think they deserve the truth too because they didn't know what kind of human being you really are. Today is going to be a very short episode, but next week we're going to continue from here and I'll let you know more of what happened after that. So, again, thank you so much, listeners. I really appreciate you taking the time out of your day to listen to my story. If you know anything, if you have any information, please reach out. You can email me. It's all on the app, all on my Facebook page, Judy's Daughter, The Jamie Good Story. Reach out in any way possible. If you want to come on and talk in person, live on here, please reach out, message me. I'll listen to your story. Nobody should be scared. Don't be scared. Stand up. I'm standing up on my own 2 feet. I'm not scared. Why should you be? Because I promise you, God's going to do more damage to him than he could ever do to anyone else. So thank you for listening. Please don't forget to click the like button, subscribe, share my story, invite others to follow along. And any profits that I get from this subscription for this podcast, all will go to helping me find my mother. Thank you so much, listeners. I love you. And until next week, Cold Case Mondays. Thank you again.